Radhe Krishna, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha. Welcome to our Thirukkolur Penpillai Rahasyam episode number 70. Ever wondered why Thirukkolur Penpillai Rahasyams are so interesting and engrossing? Thirukkolur Penpillai talks about multiple personalities. In her Rahasyams, she doesn't repeat the same message across her different Rahasyams. So in a way, each Rahasyam and the message it carries is unique, thereby helping us to learn a new lesson every time we hear these episodes. Thirukkolur Penpillai's spiritual knowledge was vast. She had done her research, she had realized the greatness of all those saints which she is talking about in her Rahasyams. She knew about their exalted status when it came to devotion, and she laments that she is nowhere close to them when it comes to devotional activities and following devotional path. So that is her entire lamentation. This 81 Bhakti Rahasyams are her lamentations that she is nowhere close to the devotion or many other sattvic qualities which have been displayed by so many different personalities, whomever we have seen till now, and there is 11 more to go. In our current Bhakti Rahasyam, Thirukkolur Penpillai is benchmarking herself with one of the spiritual masters of Swami Ramanuja himself. In our last episode, we saw about Periyanambigal, who was one of the acharyas or the masters of Swami Ramanuja. So at this juncture, let us take a moment to see who are those 5 spiritual masters of Swami Ramanuja. So one is Periyanambigal, the second one is Thirukkolur Nambi, then Thirumaalai Aandaan, then Perumal Arayar, and Thirumaalai Nambi. These are the 5 spiritual masters of Swami Ramanuja, and from them Swami Ramanuja learnt various facets of spiritual knowledge. So again, if we see in our last episode, Periyanambigal got Swami Ramanuja into the fold of Sri Vaishnavism by helping him do some of the initial rituals which are expected out of a person following the Sri Vaishnava tradition. In our current Rahasyam, Thirukkolur Penpillai is talking about another spiritual master. Her Bhakti Rahasyam goes like this: did I always surround and stay by Swami Ramanuja like Thirumaalai Aandaan? So let us see what made Thirumaalai Aandaan always surround and stay near Swami Ramanuja. Again, just to refresh, Thirumaalai Aandaan is the guru, the master, and Swami Ramanuja is the disciple here. So the story behind these 5 great spiritual masters goes like this. So all these 5 spiritual masters of Swami Ramanuja were themselves devotees of the great saint Swami Alavandar. So we have Swami Alavandar. He had 5 disciples amongst others, and each one was interested to present a particular spiritual treasure to Swami Ramanuja. It is said that Swami Alavandar himself wanted to guide Swami Ramanuja, but by the turn of events, before Swami Ramanuja could even meet Swami Alavandar in his lifetime, Swami Alavandar left for the abode of Lord Vishnu. So never ever did Swami Alavandar and Swami Ramanuja meet. So at the time of his departure from this world, Swami Aandaan entrusted this responsibility of sharing spiritual wisdom, spiritual treasures to Swami Ramanuja. He gave this task to each of these 5 spiritual masters. So the responsibility of Thirumaalai Aandaan was to help Ramanuja understand and discuss with him the secrets of a literature called Thiruvai. Now Thiruvai is a set of compositions, a set of poems, devotional poems sung by, composed by none other than Swami Nammalvar, who was one of the 12 Azhwars saints. Because of its inherent complexity, different interpretations and explanations, this Thirumaalai Aandaan had this responsibility to discuss the secrets of Thiruvai with Swami Ramanuja. Now, with this task, Thirumaalai Aandaan used to meet Swami Ramanuja to discuss and explain about Thiruvai. Now, Swami Ramanuja was a sannyasi. He was a monk of the renounced order. He had so many activities in his daily life. He had an ashram or a mutt to manage. He had the Srirangam temple responsibilities. There were many people who used to come to him, ask his opinions. There were his disciples who would come with questions. He had to answer all those. There were temple festivities. He had to attend to those. In spite of this busy, hectic routine, yet he found time to learn about Thiruvai from Thirumaalai Aandaan. Now that's a great lesson for us. We keep on complaining we don't have time for anything else apart from our normal day-to-day work. So spiritual activities are last on the priority list. We have a list of priorities once the weekdays are engrossed or immersed in professional work. Weekends are for relaxation, spending time with family, friends, going out. So in this scheme, spiritual time or time for spiritual pursuits always take a backseat, unfortunately. But sooner we realize that not spending enough time for spiritual growth within ourselves is our own loss. It can help us in a better manner. So it's all a question of time management and prioritization of at least dedicating half an hour a day for whatever spiritual practice we are comfortable with, whatever suits us. It doesn't mean that one person, everyone has to follow the same spiritual path or spiritual activity. It could be chanting the Lord's names, it could be hearing about His glories, it could be discussing or debating. There are multiple ways, whatever gives that solace to our hearts and minds in enhancing our spiritual wisdom, that should be followed. It could be reading books on spiritual philosophies. So there are multiple gateways to progress in the spiritual path. Now, Swami Ramanuja exactly shows the way. In spite of such a routine, he still used to spend time with Thirumaalai Aandaan discussing Thiruvai. Now, there were times whenever Thirumaalai Aandaan was explaining a particular interpretation. Now, he had heard it from his spiritual master, Swami Aandaan. So, he was passing the same to Swami Ramanuja. There were times where Swami Ramanuja would give a counter explanation or an interpretation to the verses, where wherever he felt that this interpretation was somewhat not sounding right, he was very vocal in expressing this. Now, generally, teachers would feel a bit offended if they are countered by their students in certain things. Imagine they are teaching something for years together, and one fine day there is one student who stands up and says he doesn't believe these interpretations or the explanations to be right. Imagine what the teacher would feel. It was the same plight for Thirumaalai Aandaan, where he felt that he had received this secret or spiritual treasure directly from Swami Alavandar, and who was Swami Ramanuja to counter these. He is a newbie in the eyes of Thirumaalai Aandaan, and for him Swami Ramanuja was trying to give new modern ways, modern interpretations to the ones which have already been explained by the great saints in the past. So he couldn't tolerate that. Now there was a particular set of compositions where once Thirumaalai Aandaan was explaining those, Swami Ramanuja felt that again the explanations didn't come in a flow. Usually if we are talking about a set of compositions, one verse would lead into the other and then to the next. That is how the flow would come. But somehow Swami Ramanuja felt that this flow was not maintained, and he openly told Thirumaalai Aandaan about this. Now that was the tipping point for Thirumaalai Aandaan, who said that he felt that enough is enough, and he sounds it to Ramanuja openly that he has heard these explanations from Swami Alavandar, and now Swami Ramanuja is giving modern twist to these interpretations. So it is better that these sessions are stopped so that there is no further discussion on this. So with this, the sessions on Thiruvaimozhi stopped. Swami Ramanuja also accepted it, and he went on carrying his duties. Now this news reached one of the other spiritual masters, one of the 5 spiritual masters, Thirukkolur Nambi. Now Thirukkolur Nambi couldn't bear this fact that suddenly these Thiruvaimozhi sessions had stopped. So he personally came down to Srirangam to investigate this matter, because it was his spiritual master who had given all the 5 masters the task. So if one particular task or one particular responsibility was not being handed down properly, so he felt that it was his responsibility to address that issue. So he comes down, he meets Thirumaalai Aandaan, and he casually asks if the sessions are going well, hope there are no issues. To which Thirumaalai Aandaan starts explaining whatever had happened in the past. Whenever those sessions happened, Swami Ramanuja used to give a different twist, which was not acceptable to him, which was not in line with what Swami Alavandar had explained to him. So he explained all his mental worries and anxieties to Thirukkolur Nambi. Now Thirukkolur Nambi was not surprised to hear this. In fact, he tells Thirumaalai Aandaan that many times in the past he had heard this very interpretation which Swami Ramanuja had given directly from the mouth of Swami Alavandar. So Thirukkolur Nambi goes on to explain that Swami Ramanuja is no ordinary person. He is his avatara, his incarnation has a deep meaning, so that Sri Vaishnavism could hold or spread its roots deep. So this is what Thirukkolur Nambi is explaining Thirumaalai Aandaan about the Avatara Rahasya, or the secret of Swami Ramanuja's incarnation. So Thirukkolur Nambi says that these interpretations are, no doubt they are different from what Swami Alavandar had explained to everyone, but there were times when Thirukkolur Nambi had received or he had heard these different set of interpretations from Swami Aandaan himself. So he continues saying that even in the times of Lord Krishna, he himself was the Lord who had descended on the earth. There was nothing which was not known to him. He didn't have to receive any education, yet he goes to the ashram of Sandipani Muni to learn the Vedas. Now, Shri Krishna, Lord Shri Krishna is Vedas personified. All the Vedas describe him as the Supreme Purusha, yet he disguised himself as a student, as a submissive student. He went to the Muni's ashram and he learnt the Vedas from him. So Thirukkolur Nambi explains, Thirumaalai Aandaan, your situation is similar to Sandipani Muni. Swami Ramanuja knows everything, yet in this world order, knowledge has to be imparted from or it has to be received from a guru. So that is why he came to you. But when he is presenting these interpretations, just think about it, he will not say anything different which Swami Aandaan would not have said or explained. It is just a matter of fact that people have usually not listened to those different set of interpretations, but then I have heard it. So with that guarantee, Thirukkolur Nambi asked Thirumaalai Aandaan to restart the sessions. The news reached Swami Ramanuja, and yet again he started the sessions, attending the sessions with Thirumaalai Aandaan. Yet again, when the explanations or the interpretations came, Swami Ramanuja openly said that this interpretation doesn't make sense. How about this alternate interpretation? And now Thirumaalai Aandaan knew this, so he kept his mind open and he absorbed what Swami Ramanuja's different interpretations meant, and it opened a whole new set of thoughts for him. He was very happy. From that moment onwards, he started surrounding and staying with Swami Ramanuja to get Swami Ramanuja's grace. He knew what he understood, really he realized what Thirukkolur Nambi had said about Swami Ramanuja. He realized the secret of his incarnation, of Swami Ramanuja's incarnation, and he felt blessed in the midst of Swami Ramanuja. At one point in time, he did ask, he was very curious as to how Swami Ramanuja could get access to the different set of interpretations of Swami Aandaan when in his lifetime he had never met Swami Ramanuja. Swami Aandaan and Swami Ramanuja never met. Yet how he could have known that Swami Aandaan gave these interpretations, that too not to the general people. It was only to some selected set of people to whom he had explained these secrets, to which Swami Ramanuja says, though I was unfortunate not to get the grace, not to get the guidance in person from Swami Aandaan, yet I have always heard about him, I have always meditated on him, and that's how I could get access to his different set of interpretations. So he compares, Swami Ramanuja here compares himself to the character Ekalavya in Mahabharata, who just made a mental map of Guru Dronacharya as his master, and he excelled in archery. Similarly, Swami Ramanuja says, with this mental map, with my mental meditation on Swami Aandaan, I got his grace. This fact further enhanced the respect which Thirumaalai Aandaan had for Swami Ramanuja. So this is the Bhakti Rahasyam which Thirukkolur Penpillai is narrating. She is benchmarking herself with the qualities displayed by Thirumaalai Aandaan. In spite of being a spiritual master, yes, in the first phase he was offended, but when he was explained by Thirukkolur Nambi, he shed all his ego, he kept an open mind, and he was able to realize the supreme grace of Swami Ramanuja. Hence, she says, did I surround myself and stay with Ramanuja like Thirumaalai Aandaan. Now, the beauty of this statement again is like, though she is benchmarking Thirumaalai Aandaan, an important character or personality in this Rahasyam is Swami Ramanuja himself. She doesn't know that she is talking to that very Swami Ramanuja right in front of her. She just feels that he is some saint and she is respectfully talking to him without the knowledge of who it was who was standing in front of her. So that was the Bhakti Rahasyam and the message which we got in the middle of, in the midst of the Rahasyams, where like Swami Ramanuja, we also need to make time for our spiritual progress through engaging or engrossing in any spiritual activity which suits our temperament and our nature. That way we will be able to realize the bliss, the positivity which is present around us. So that was all from our current Bhakti Rahasyam. Stay blessed, stay devoted, and stay tuned for our next Bhakti Rahasyam. Radhe Krishna, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha.